My name is Emily Carter, and this story is about something truly special that my dad and I did together, something that changed not just our lives, but the entire Carter family forever. I grew up in a small town in North Carolina, where everyone knew everyone. My dad, James Carter, was the kind of man who could fix anything. From old lawnmowers to broken chairs, he had this magic touch. He wasn't rich, but he was proud of what he had. After my mom passed away when I was 17, he became my rock. It wasn't always easy for either of us, but we got through everything side by side. When I turned 26, I moved to the city to work as an architect. Life was fast, demanding, and full of deadlines. Dad stayed in our old house, taking care of the place, fixing it bit by bit. We talked every Sunday, his voice always calm, reminding me to take breaks and eat real food instead of that city junk. One day, he called me out of the blue. I've got an idea, he said in his deep, steady voice. What kind of idea, Dad? I asked, smiling as I stirred coffee at my office desk. I think we should build something together. I laughed. Like what? A birdhouse? No, he said, chuckling. Something bigger. Something that'll remind us both where we come from. At first, I thought he was joking. But then he sent me a photo, an empty patch of land beside our old house. He'd cleared it, leveled the dirt, and drawn a rough sketch of a wooden cabin. A workshop, he explained. A place we can build things together. I couldn't say no. I took vacation time, packed my bags, and drove 6 hours back home. When I arrived, Dad was already outside, measuring lumber, wearing that old denim jacket I remembered from my childhood. Welcome home, he said, smiling through his gray beard. Over the next few weeks, we worked side by side, sawing, hammering, laughing, and sometimes just sitting together in comfortable silence. He taught me how to handle tools, how to measure twice and cut once, how to sand wood until it was smooth as glass. At night, we'd sit on the porch, watching the sun dip below the hills. He'd tell stories about when I was little, how I used to sit in his workshop pretending to help, while mostly making a mess. One evening, as we looked at the frame of the cabin standing tall under the orange sky, I realized how much I'd missed him. I hadn't noticed how lonely he must have been all those years after Mom passed. The house was full of memories, but not much life. Dad, I said quietly, why now? Why build this? He smiled faintly. Because I wanted you to come home, sweetheart. And I knew you wouldn't unless I gave you a reason. That hit me hard. We kept building, through rain, through heat, through laughter and stubborn disagreements about design. He wanted old school charm, I wanted a modern touch. So we compromised, classic wood walls, but big windows and skylights to let the light in. By the end of the summer, the cabin stood strong and beautiful, a mix of both our styles, both our hearts. We called it the Carter Workshop. We invited the family over for a little reveal. My cousins, aunts, and even my brother flew in. When they arrived, everyone was stunned. The place was warm, hand-built, and full of love. We showed them the details, Dad's hand-carved sign above the door, my architectural drawings framed on the wall, and a wooden bench we'd made together. But then, Dad surprised everyone again. He cleared his throat and said, "This isn't just a workshop. It's for everyone in this family. I want this to be a place where we create things together, memories, furniture, maybe even a few dreams." There wasn't a dry eye in sight. Later that night, when everyone had gone home, Dad and I sat on the porch again. The stars were bright, the cabin glowed softly behind us, and he turned to me with a tired but proud smile. "You know, Emily," he said, "your mom would have loved this." I nodded, tears in my eyes. "She's here, Dad, in every board we nailed, in every bit of this place." A year later, the Carter Workshop became more than a family project, it became a local legend. Kids came to learn woodworking, neighbors stopped by to help, and Dad and I started teaching free weekend classes. What began as a simple idea became a community treasure. And every time I drive home, I see that wooden cabin standing there, shining in the sun, and I remember what we built wasn't just a workshop. It was a bridge, between generations, between hearts, between the past and the future. We built it together, and that's something no one can ever take away.